What's going on, guys? So recently I decided to pick up a couple more specialized setups. So one of the ones I got, the rod itself is coming over from Asia. It's going to be a super ultralight rated for between 1 and 3 grams. So I had to pick up a reel to go along with it, and that's what we're going to be testing out today. So inside this box is the Daiwa Legalis. So I'm going to open this thing up and we are going to take a look at it straight out the box. I'm going to put it on my rod, we are going to test it out, and we are going to review it. So I heard a lot of really good things about this reel, did a lot of research online, saw a lot of reviews. So let's take a look at this bad boy, and we'll get it on the rod. So first up, open up the box. There's our reel. Comes with just the manual, and looks like that is about it. Forgive me, this is my first unboxing I'm doing, so a little new to this, but I also just kind of want to get out and go fishing. So here is the reel. Looks a little different than what I was expecting. Let's tighten this up. It looked a lot shinier online. It's actually got a very nice bronze color to it. Online it looked kind of gold, so I actually really like the way it looks. Let's give it a spin. Smooth like a baby's butt. But that's not saying much, because with today's technology, every reel right out of the box is going to be super smooth. Even the little $20 all plastic reels from Walmart. But this reel costs, I believe I paid $69 for it. Nice little thing there, nice handle. Let's take a look at a couple of the specs. So 5.2 to 1, that's going to be the gear ratio. So for every one turn of the handle that you make, the bail is going to spin 5.2 times, and that's kind of on the lower end, medium end kind of. A lot of reels have a higher gear ratio. So the Legalis, it does come in, I think it's called the XD or XH, one of the other models, and the ratio is a little bit faster. So for every turn, the bail is going to spin faster. I prefer a lower gear ratio for most of the fishing I do. I don't make long casts where I need to reel in forever to bring the lure back in. And when I'm using lures, especially the small lures, it gives me more precision. Right? If the ratio is a little bit faster, you have less control, because you need to really slow down your crank there to make the lure do what you want it to do. And sometimes if the ratio is too high, that's not even possible, like some of the reels that have a ratio over 7. So 5.2 I think gives me enough control where I'm able to get the lures to do what I need them to do. Alright, so 5.2 to 1, weighs 6.7 ounces, so fairly light. There's lighter reels out there, but I think this should balance pretty well on both the rod I have today and the rod I ordered online that should be here in the next couple weeks. 11-pound drag. To be honest, reels today, in my opinion, their max drag is way too high for what they should handle. I mean, this is an ultralight. I'm going to put 4-pound test on it. It doesn't need 11 pounds of drag. I mean, if you're putting 11 pounds of pressure on a fish using this reel, you've got bigger problems. You want to put 11 pounds of pressure, you need a bigger reel that's designed for that, and a heavier rod. 25.5 inches per turn, right? So like I was saying with the gear ratio, for every turn you make, there's going to be 25.5 inches of line that get put back on the spool, which I think is pretty perfect. And 5 bearings, so it's got 5 bearings and then plus 1 roller bearing. So pretty good reel. Like I said, I have high expectations because I did a fair amount of research, and it seems to have really good reviews by everyone that I looked up online. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some 4-pound fluorocarbon on here. We're going to pair it up with my Daiwa D-Shock ultralight rod. The lake I came to today, it has a pretty good mine cichlid and largemouth bass population, and then also a lower peacock bass and bluegill and spotted tilapia population. So I'm hoping I could hook into a decent amount of mine cichlids, because they can really fight, and I want to hear what this drag does actually. Hopefully you can hear that. It's actually really quiet. So I like my drags to make a little bit more noise than that. But yeah, so mine cichlids, they know how to pull. Largemouth bass, they know how to pull. So I'm hoping to hook up with a couple of those where I'm able to give this baby a try and hear that drag purr, which I'm a little disappointed with so far. I thought it'd be a little bit louder, but it's all right. So I'll see you once we are all set up, ready to go. All right, reel is on the rod. We got our line put on, and we're gonna start out throwing this 1/8 ounce black beetle spin. So mine cichlids love that thing. So that's gonna be our first goal for today. Let's hook into a fish and let's put this reel to use. All right, so I know this might be a little dumb, but it opens up so cleanly. Cast pretty well. Smooth on the retrieve. Now we gotta wait for a fish. There we go, fish on. Little guy, what is this? Not getting to test the drag out too much, little Mayan. Wish this guy was a little bigger, then we'd actually really be able to test it. But first fish of the day. Alrighty, first fish of the day, little Mayan cichlid. Did not put too much of a fight. Let's let this one go. Alright, so unfortunately that guy didn't get to put up too much of a fight. The reel, I mean, it felt smooth, it held up, pulled a little bit of drag, and it felt good, made a nice little ting sound. Like I said, I wish it was louder, but so far so good. The fish aren't cooperating, but we got one. We'll try to get one that's a little bit bigger that could put that reel more through a more strenuous test. There we go, fish on. Oh, that's a nicer one. Pulled a little bit. Oh, it's a largemouth. Try to get this guy in. Keep the line tight when they jump. And coming up here, first largemouth. All right, second largemouth of the day. We'll let this one go, and I'll talk about that reel for a second, how it did on the fight. Alright, so that fish put up a little bit more of a fight. The drag actually went to where it got to hear it purr for actually a little bit longer than just 1 second. I mean, it sounds okay. I wish it was a little bit louder, but nice and smooth, no problems there. So let's keep fishing. Let's try to get one or two more. One really, really big one would be nice. I could really put this thing to use. Alright, so let's chat about the Legalis. So been out here about an hour and a half. The fish just did not cooperate today. No big ones, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think we don't really need a big one. So this is a 1,000 size reel. It's a perfect reel for panfish. So you should only really be targeting fish that are 5-6 inches, like that Mayan cichlid, maybe that bass that was, I don't know, 11-12 inches. Anything bigger than that, if you're going to be targeting big fish, you should go up a size, probably 2,500, maybe even a little bit bigger. So for what this reel is made to do, I think it held up well today. A couple things I noticed about the reel that I didn't mention in the beginning. Number one, the handle. All right, it's not plastic, it's hard to describe. Kind of that material that like golf club handles or tennis racket handles are made out of, so it's got a really, really nice feel to it, way better than on the cheap reels. Now the anti-reverse, to be completely honest, I don't know why reel makers still make that. No one that I know uses this. I think that's an old style reel. It just creates a weak point and an entry point for like water and dirt and sand to get into. So I wish they got rid of that. And just kind of looking at it, it looks bigger than some of the other 1,000 style reels that I have. If you've been watching my videos the last couple months, I've been using the Daiwa D-Shock a lot. It's a 1,000 style reel too. It's a lot smaller. I believe, not sure, this is the Legalis LT 1000D. I believe the D stands for deep spool. So the spool might just be a little bit bigger, but even so, I put about 100 yards of this 4-pound fluorocarbon on there, and I think it fills the spool pretty well. The drag worked well for when I got to test it with those little guys. Like I mentioned, I wish it had a little bit of a louder sound, because it's a really cool sound when that fish is pulling drag. But other than that, I do think this reel is worth the money. It's my first kind of expensive reel. It looks really nice, looks better than the cheaper reels I've been using. It feels better in hand than the cheaper reels I've been using, and it performed better. I didn't get to test it out too much, but I've got to say, I really like the way that it performed on those fish, right? So that's going to do it. If you have any questions about this reel, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to watch my videos coming up for the next few months, because I'm definitely going to be using this a lot, especially when that new reel, the new rod comes in from Asia. That should be here in the next week or two. I'm really excited about that. And there's another YouTuber, iFish, lowercase I_fish. He does a lot of really good ultralight reviews. He reviewed this reel a couple times and a whole bunch of other ones. He's actually one of the ones that recommended it to me. So if you want to check out a more in-depth review, he has one over on his channel. But like I said, I think it is well worth the money, and I just hope it holds up for the next couple months. So hope you guys liked it, and I will see you next time.